Hi, and welcome to this tutorial from the Dapper Sprig. Today we are doing our tutorial on the Linden sweatshirt from Grainline Studios. And we're super excited to make this because it is super comfy. You're gonna probably want to make this pattern again and again because of how comfortable it is and how easy it is to put together. So let's go ahead and let's open this up. We have this packet of instructions right here, and then we have our pattern. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open this up. And you're just gonna go ahead and you're just gonna cut out all of the pieces around the furthest line on all of these pattern pieces. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and put these pins in here. For this one, we are going to be doing the size 4. And we're also going to be doing view A. So just make sure that you are doing this bottom line right here. And I like to just go ahead and fold this over and then kind of follow this line as I cut it out. And you have notches here and here, so go ahead and cut those into your fabric. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and this is the cuff band, and this is the hem band. So we're going to find our size 4, and we're just going to fold this over. You can cut this to the size that you want it to be. I just like to save the sizes because I sew for a lot of different people that are a lot of different sizes. So on this pattern piece, I folded it over with the fold in the fabric right here. The reason that I did this is because this calls for 2. So by folding it over, I'm gonna actually get 2 of this. This right here tells us that we need to put this on a fold so that it'll make it twice as big. Sorry, I said we're gonna go ahead and we we are going to place this here. So we can have this pattern piece calls for a center front fold, so we're going to put this right here, and it calls for only one. Awesome, now that we have all of our pattern pieces together, we are cut out, we are going to start putting this baby together. We are going to take our front piece we're going to open it up. This side is the side that you want to, this is the front of the fabric. You can see when you look on the back, you can see that the lines and the knitting is different. So you want to keep this fabric for your front. And this has one notch in our sleeves right here, and we're going to match it to the notch on our sleeves right here. I'm going to go ahead, see we have our one notch right here in our fabric, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that and we're going to match it up to here. We're just going to lay that right down there. Like that, and we're going to take our pins and we're going to pin it like this. Some sewing machines you can sew right over the pins without any problems. Other sewing machines you can't do that. With mine, it's an industrial sewing machine, so that works out for me. Again, we have one notch and we're going to place that on the other side of this front piece and pin it. Yes, so what we're going to do, what we're doing here, again, we're making sure, as you can see, that this is the right side of the fabric and this is the wrong side of the fabric. You can see that there's a little stitch line there, and the texture on this side is different. So we want to make sure that we're putting the two pretty sides or the two right sides together. Go ahead and we're going to match up our corners. Make sure our edges are as, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but it does help to, when you're sewing, to keep them as even as possible. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go over to our sewing machine now. So, sewing with knits, you're just going to make sure that you have a little less tension with your presser foot so that it doesn't, so that it keeps your fabric nice and smooth as you're sewing. Okay, so we have our our front and our sleeves, we're going to go ahead and we're going to unpin our back now. And again, we have 2 notches here to mark that this is the back, and also for the sleeve placement. And again, remember, this is the nice side of the fabric and this is the wrong side of the fabric. We're going to make sure we put the right sides, the nice fabric, together. So we're going to lay this on top here. And we're going to match up these notches. And with stripes, you can go ahead and try to match up these stripes. Since we're just doing our beginning class, I wouldn't worry about it as much. We can be a little bit more conscious about that as we progress through our sewing journey. Okay, and again, this is the other side of the back here, right here. And here is the sleeve right here. And make sure that we have these two together. I will switch this over here so that you can see just a little bit better. I like to make sure my ends are matching up. And then I kind of match the middle portion. Okay, so we have our 2 sides here that are pinned onto our back, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that over to the sewing machine. Okay, again, we want to just make sure that we're, that we have a guide that goes along the side of our fabric. You can also use like washi tape so that you know exactly where you're going, if that's helpful for you. So now, it's so exciting because now we have our shirt. Now we can go and we can sew the arms. Let's go pin them. Okay, so we have our front. How we can tell that it's our front is that our neckline is going to drop a little bit lower. One thing that's super nice about this particular sweatshirt is that it has a very comfortable neckline. It's not tight, it's not going to choke you at all. Okay, so what we're doing now is we are just matching up underneath the arms and down the side. It's so exciting. I get so excited when you can actually see the garment coming together like this. And I like to match up my seams. Kind of like to, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either take your seams and you can lay them both out flat, or out flat like this, or you can lay one down this way and one this way and nest them. So whatever works for you. I like to have my lines line up, my seams line up. Sewing is kind of like other art forms. You have rules and then you find out what works for you. Okay, awesome. Let's take our garment over to the sewing machine. Okay, just again, I just want to do a quick reminder, make sure that your threads are always behind your presser foot when you're sewing, just so that your threads don't get mixed up. So we're going to go ahead, we are going to line up our fabric and we are going to sew. Make sure you're always like filling your fabric, so you're making sure that it's nice and flat as you're sewing, that you don't have any wrinkles in it. So you don't want to accidentally sew another part of the shirt to the wrong part of the shirt. Okay, we have our last pieces right here. I am going to take the pins out of them. What we have to do, I'm just going to show you what we need to do with each of these. So we'll start here with the cuff bands. So we're taking the pins out of here. We'll set this aside. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put right sides together. So again, this is the nice side of the fabric. We're going to move this over here. And we're going to pin these together. Oops, I got two of these pins, so we'll just put that one there. Okay, so then we have it like that. This one we're going to turn over and then fold in half. So we have, again, our right sides, our pretty sides are together. Those corners. I like to do have all of my pinning ready to go so I can sew a little bit faster because I'm all about speed. So this is the neckband. Again, this side that's out, this is the pretty side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this over like this. We are going to pin this. Set this aside. I'm going to take this out. Set this aside. Now this one is going to be a little different. We're going to take this and we're going to put right sides together on these. So we're going to take this and turn it over. We're going to make sure that we have our pretty sides together. And as you can see, this fabric is wanting to kind of roll on me. So rude. Oh, sorry. So go ahead and pin here in these corners. And then pin over in these corners. Okay, we're ready. We're going to go ahead and take these over to the sewing machine. Okay, again, we're going to make sure our thread is behind us. We're going to make sure that our fabric is lined up with our markings. We're going to make sure our fabric is all smoothed out. Go ahead and start. Okay, I am just going to take this and I'm just going to pull this over like this right here so I can just keep on sewing, because I'm all about speed. Then we're just going to take this, we're going to take the rest of our pieces here, and we're just going to continue to sew them. Okay, we are going to be what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be doing the neck binding. So this, as you can see, is the smallest piece. We are going to be taking this and we're going to be folding it in half, just like this. We want to make sure that it's folded in half all the way around. And it's a little tricky because it likes to roll. So you're going to have to spend a few minutes smoothing down that fabric. What we're going to do is we can see that we have a line right here, and this is the center that we cut out our fabric on. There's a line right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to match our seam up with that line, with that center point. Then we're going to take our neck binding and we are going to make sure that it's folded over, and we're going to pull this it's kind of being a little tricky here, little stinker. Okay, we're going to do it so that it's in half, and we're going to bring it over to the halfway mark on the front of our shirt. Next, we are going to find the center point in the rest of our neckband, which is right here. And we can go ahead and we can pin this so that we can show, so we remember where it's at. And then we take this halfway point right here. And we did learn about this in our last tutorial with our yoga pants. So this is just the same kind of concept. What this does, this halving and then quartering does, is it makes sure that our neck bands and our cuffs and our waistbands are all evenly distributed, and it just makes it a lot easier when you're sewing things like this. You can go ahead and stretch your neckband and pin it. We're making sure that we're not stretching the back, we're just stretching the neckband. It can be a little tricky, but you got this. This is what this is all about. It's just working through it. Okay, so we have this pin. Let's go ahead and take it to the sewing machine now. Okay, again, we're going to make sure that our threads are pulled tight behind our foot. I am going to start with my seam in the back. It kind of just gives us a nice starting point so we know where we started and where we end. I'm going to make sure that I have my mark of my ½ inch here, and start sewing. Again, when you're doing this, just make sure that you're feeling your fabric as you go. It's really important to get kind of a good feel for the fabric, as so you know that there's like not any other fabric but the fabric that's supposed to be here. Okay, so we have our sweatshirt. It is turned inside out. You can see the seams right here. We have our waistband. We're going to put we're going to put wrong sides together, match up our seams, and then we're going to go ahead, just like our neckband, we're going to place our seams on the side seams of our sweatshirt. Pin that. Just make sure, like when you're feeling it, that you feel with your fingers where the seams are at. We're using a lot of our senses when we create art. And then the same thing that we did with the neckband, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to have these, quarter these. So we're going to match up our seams here, take our halfway point here, we can get it, so it's kind of rolling out all over the place there. And match this halfway point up with the halfway point in our sweater. Point. This waistband is great because it brings your sweatshirt in a little bit, but it doesn't bring it in like a lot, so it's extremely comfortable. Okay, we're going to take this cuff, and again we're going to fold it in half. We're going to be really good at folding these fabrics together. You're doing awesome.